Welcome back to Contextual Electronics. My name is Chris Gamble. Today we're going to be going over how to do Git branching and how you might use that in your KiCad projects, and that's how I use it. So the way that I think about this is kind of like in Back to the Future 2, where Doc is talking about like the alternate timelines, which I know is really silly, but I feel like this is just a good visualization of it. Granted, in Back to the Future 2, he does not go forward. Like, they don't actually merge back into the timeline, so that's probably where it all breaks down. It probably broke down a lot sooner than that, but that's kind of the easy way to think about it in terms of visualization, at least. And so that's the real thing I'm getting at here. And so let's take a look at what we actually want to go over here, right? So this is the reason I'm doing this is because as I showed in the last video, I was putting together the ABC board, and I wanted to pair it to the daughter card that I built for it. But what I really want to be doing is I want to start building a 3D model for this thing for a case, right? So just got a new 3D printer. I'm very excited about that. I want to go and build a 3D model in FreeCAD or Fusion 360 or something like that. And so to do that, though, I need a model that I can actually use the dimensions of. And so in this case, the Pi hat, the actual board that I got made, is not useful because I'm really going to put it in a case when it's broken out from this form factor. So what I figured is that we'll go and break out this whole thing by using a branch, right? So you can see I was doing some cleanup here. Clear, that's what I want. And so let's go a little bigger on the text here as well, just so you can see it nicely. Okay, so we're in the actual Git directory. So if I do git status, here's where we are. So I'm up to date. If I do git lol, which is this is a script you can install, I learned from a friend, and this is actually a nice thing. You can see all of the different steps here. Git log is the other one. So this is git log is the traditional one. Git log will actually show you the different steps. Git lol is just a different way to format it, which I think is a lot nicer, a little tighter here, so you can start to see that I did go and branch this here as well, right? So, and you can see this was a branch that got merged back in here. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and first create a branch. So I'm going to say git checkout, and then dash B, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to call it. In this case, I'm going to call it, I don't know, let's say breakout version. Breakout. Let's just call it breakout. That's fine. Okay, so now we switch to a new branch breakout, right? So if we say git lol, it'll say here's the different branches that we have available to us, right? So this is breakout. We just switched from master. Master is like the main branch, or main is sometimes the new one as well. And then there's also origin main or master and origin head, right? So these are all different. So these two are the ones that are actually on the GitHub server. Master is the one that's locally, and then breakout is the one that I just created. Okay, so if I go and change something here, then that's actually going to get assigned to breakout. If I want to, I can just go and switch right back to master. So check out master, and we're back there, right? So again, if we go and look at where we are, we're on, I guess this doesn't show it that well. Let's just say git status, and it'll show us which branch we're actually on, right? So we're up to date with origin master. Origin master is the remote one. That's what's actually on GitHub, and that's where we're tracking there. We're on branch master, which is our local one here. So again, I'm just going to check out that branch that I created here. Git checkout, and I think if you do git branch -L, it'll show you all the branches you have. Oh, I have another one there. I didn't even remember that one. So I had started a 6-layer branch at one point. If I went and switched to that would actually show. So if I go git checkout 6-layer, and you can tab complete if you want to. Now I'm like, I don't even know where I am. This is like way back. Yeah, so I had started putting this onto a 6-layer board at one point, but I didn't end up using it, and the branch is still there. So again, we can just use these as kind of like save points in the different spaces here. So git checkout breakout. There we go. Okay, so now we're back to where we were. Cool. Let's go and look at the actual layout now. Okay, so here's where we are. This is the layout. And so all I want to do here is actually pretty simple. I'll have to be kind of careful on what I select, but what I'll do is I'll just say, hey, let's select everything, including the outlines, but not including the, I don't want to get rid of the planes. So let's make sure we don't delete the planes. So we're going to do a select, is at the top here. Select kind of moves around a little bit. So we'll do everything except the zones. And then let's try and delete in that. And then we should... Oh, that really filled back in there. All right, so this is, for now, it's going to be... so we're going to have some locked items here, too, that we'll have to get rid of. But it's... As before we actually finish completing the lines here, it's going to look a little ugly. So let's do this again here. Okay, delete that. We hit delete again, we'll actually delete some of the locked stuff. And you see that it's still showing the outline here, but it's just because the board outline was defining the edge of that the zone there, and now that it's gone, it's just going to go to the edge of where we drew the actual. So if I hit B, it goes and draws it out to where the actual the zone is defined to. All right, so I'm going to click and select from the bottom right to the top left. That's going to select everything within that area now. Okay, and same thing. Ooh, I didn't like that. So let's. So we selected also the zone. We want to make sure we don't select the zones. We don't want to actually mess with the board itself. So we're going to filter selection again. There we go. Get rid of that stuff. We're going to do this again here. And I'm going to say select, filter selection. There we go. And then I'm going to delete these guys. Looks like we still have some stuff drawn in there. We're going to delete this. There we go. I guess this is a mechanical model, so in the event that I delete the zone, it's not a huge deal, but still, we'd like to have it, be accurate at least. I don't want to have like a 3D model without the actual zone showing. So, all right, let's do that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go and drag these things to go and connect, right? So that's kind of the main thing here. So if you drag them over top of one another, the circle will help to show that it's actually over top of one another and that it will connect. I guess I can go to a bigger grid size as well. I've been using, I guess I'll do that now, but so it's on the smallest grid right now. I've actually been switching, I sometimes switch by accident. So if you hit N, it actually will like downgrade, and Shift N will then upgrade it. So that's actually a hotkey I've been using actually on purpose. Usually I hit it by accident in the past, and so if I hit Shift N, you see that the grid underneath my mouse here is actually going back up again. And so that's nice just for making it a little easier to drag stuff around. Hopefully this is on the correct spacing already, so it's easier to actually connect these things. Okay. Move this guy out of here. Now, and normally I would be freaking out thinking about like, oh no, I'm changing all this stuff. But like I said, we're on a branch, so it's not a big deal, right? This is all effectively it's another way to think about it is like a save game. We're basically doing a save game here in a different spot. Okay, so I went and hit B again, and what it did is it basically went and now that I have a true zone outline, it's basically ignoring everything outside of the zone outline here, including this logo. We should get rid of that. That should be locked. Yeah. Okay. So let's go and look at the 3D model now. It's probably going to change. Okay, it doesn't like that. So 91.4, 87.3. Let's see where that is. 91.4, 87.3. I'm guessing it's where. Oh, I didn't connect it. Okay. Maybe I deleted it by accident. All right, and now should be okay. Got some extra graphics here. That must be on the front side. Yep, that's on the front side. All right. All right, so a little bit different than ultimately what it's going to look like, but this is, a much sized down model, and this will definitely work as a mechanical model, right? So now let's go back to the Git interface here. And I'm in Windows Subsystem for Linux, so that, you could do this in Git Bash or wherever you're doing that. But so we're going to say git status, see what changed here. It should just be, whoa. Oh, I didn't hit save. Got to hit save. And it should really just be the KiCad PCB and then also the KiCad PCB.back, the backup file. Let's see if that is true. Oh, not even the backup file. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to verify that we're on the proper branch. We're on branch breakout, right? So we're going to say git commit m modified model to remove pi hat. I didn't add the files. Actually, before I do that, I actually want to do one other thing too. I just thought about. I actually want to export this as a step file as well. So I'm going to go and export this. We're going to put this output step, and then usually I add a date to it as well, which is today is 2020 12/02. It is 0858. Okay. I usually like just so I know that if I cannot determine the board outline. Oh man, it deleted again. It happened again. Oh wow. Okay. I must be hitting delete by accident when I exit these things. Okay. Let's double check the 3D model one more time. Looks good. All right, so I'm gonna hit step file, export step. Browse, go add the date again with a slightly different time. 2020 12/02 09. We'll just say 0900. We'll forward. We'll fast forward a little bit there. All right, we're gonna hit export. Usually it takes a little bit just because it's gathering up all the different 3D models there, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this now. We are gonna have this actually inside the within the branch. So we might have to go and grab this step file and put it elsewhere. So because it's gonna be captured within the branch, that's fine. But we can also go and either merge that specific one into the master, or we can just copy it to another location on the computer and just put it into the directory later. Just because this is something that we might want to use later for other 3D models and things like that. Okay, so looks like it has created successfully. Great. So now we should see that step file here. So let's do a status one more time. So now we see those two files. So first thing we have to do is git add all, and then we can reuse this this directory or this commit here. We're going to say again, we can do git status, right, just to show where we are here, right? So git add all. Oh, so we have nothing to commit, working branch clean. We actually are. So if we do git lol, we should actually see we're one step ahead. So now what we see is the breakout is one step ahead of both master, which is local, and the remote, right? So these are both the master on both the GitHub server, which is origin/master, and then master here, which is the local one. Those are all, that's what we had started from. Now we're on this branch here, and we basically can say, okay, we're on this branch. We can either keep this locally, or we can decide to push that up to the server. I'm going to go and try and push this up to the server. It's going to tell me that I have to, so if I say git push, it's going to say, oh, you have to actually determine if you want to put this on the upstream server, right? In this case, that is GitHub, right? So now we're basically going to say, okay, now breakout is going to exist on GitHub as well. Okay. And it's basically pushing that file up there. It's a little bit bigger just because it's a step file, and so that it had a new file there. All right, so now if we did git lol, we should see we have origin breakout, head breakout, and then origin master, origin head master, right? So now we've effectively added even more things, because now we have the GitHub version of the breakout, we have the local version of breakout, we have the GitHub version of master, and we have the local version of master. So there's a bunch of stuff there. What we could also do is, if we really wanted to, if we could go and merge this whole thing back into master, but I don't want to do that because it would be problematic for future stuff. So what I want to do instead, that would actually like ruin the if I wanted to keep that pi hat form factor. So instead, I'm just going to go git checkout master. Great. Now KiCad's a little bit weird with this. It's not going to reload this here. You're going to have to actually go because it's from the rendering perspective, it's like I don't actually know what happened here. So I'm just going to go X out of here. I'm going to go and open the file back up again, right? Or the PCB new back up again. I'm getting a weird message over here. That is unexpected. So I'm going to try and, so yeah, it doesn't seem like it's actually here. So that's kind of weird. So I'm going to just do a git pull just to make sure. I should, this may have happened actually when I was previous there. Let's try and do a git reset hard. Okay. Let's do an ls here. Wow, so it's actually missing from the repo. So that means it's actually from 2 steps back. I must have removed the actual file from the, so if I do git lol here, so when I was merging right before this video, I was merging back there, and I must have deleted it somewhere in here. Huh. That's very odd because it was open. So let's try stepping back. Let's do git checkout 8DADEDA. Now it's going to put us in a detached head. And if we do this, we should see. So it looks like the file is here at this point. So it is there. That's weird. This is an unexpected turn in my video making, so I'm not sure how this all happened here. Well, let's give it a shot. We're doing this live. So we're going to try git switch, which is, I think, the new git checkout command. And then we're going to say, so some of the git commands have changed. Like I said, masters become main. I think checkouts become switch. But we're going to say, we're going to call it recover. So now switch to new branch recover. So let's do a git lol. Just look at this here. So we're in head recover. Now I think I want to do is git checkout master, and then git merge recover. Right. So basically, this is just. That's not what I expected. Git checkout recover. Okay. Now what we should see now is we should see that the file comes back at least. Yeah, it's definitely back. Huh. This is very odd. This is definitely like work in progress that happened. This must have been from working on a different computer or something like that. All right, so I definitely screwed the pooch when I was doing the setup earlier. So let's do git lol. Yeah, this is from a while ago as well. Finish bomb filling. Huh. Okay, let's, I don't think it's just the drawings here. Let's see what this looks like on the 3D model. Alt 3. Yeah. This might actually be right. I'm just looking at this improperly. That I just don't remember what this looks like here. That looks right. That's the backside copper, ground, power, and then front side copper. So yeah, this might be right. So, okay. So let's say, let's look at git lol again. And if we do, git checkout master, head master, origin master, recover. Right. So now I think git merge recover. I think I need to actually grab that file from there and I need to be able to like do a commit that then gets pulled forward. Yeah, so right now I'm in a detached head. Oh, I see. So this is the branch. I want to move the branch up to here, but I basically want to grab this file that was there. So one way I could do that is go and actually grab the file, check out the recover branch. I could grab the file, copy that into master, and then just commit that. That would probably be the easiest way to do these things. but not necessarily the most Git-friendly way of doing things. So I think what I'm going to try here is switch back to the recover branch. Git checkout recover. I'm going to make a small change to the thing. I'll just move the footprint a little bit here. Yes, that's fine. All right, so we moved the footprint just a little bit there. I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna go back into here. We should see that on this branch there's a modification there. So we're gonna say git commit moved CE logo. We have to add the files first. Jeez. Git. We'll just copy that. We'll do a. Now we should see this. Now, if we switch back to the master, git checkout master, we should see. We don't see that change in there, but we might be able to actually merge this in now. There's actually something to merge. So we're going to say git merge breakout. Nope, not breakout. Sorry. Git merge. What did I call it? Recover. Jeez. Conflict. Git status. Yeah, so this is actually where I had made the this is where I made the mistake. I had actually removed these files. So they're still existing in the repository, but I had removed these files from tracking when I went to go merge right before this video. And so that's why this all came up in the first place. I'm going to pretend this is a happy mistake, but this is actually very frustrating for me. I basically was in a rush and I made a mistake here. So we need to go and be able to actually add these in now. So we're going to say, let's see if this works. And then git add that one. Okay. And then we're going to say git merge. Use git commit to conclude merge. Okay, so now we want to do a git commit. So this is for the, wow, wrong keys. Git commit. Pulling in previously deleted layout files. Git, let's go look git lol. Yeah, so here's the recover, here's the master, and now here's where we are. So basically we're all the way back here. This is where GitHub is right now. This is the recovered moved logo. This is now, I basically pulled those files back in. You see all these different modifications here. So now if I do git push, we should see that everything opens up fine. So now if we go back into, so I'm going to close this. Let's just verify that everything is pulled in okay. So we're back at the project. Let's verify we're on the right branch. So we git status. Master, great. And now if we open it, it should be there and it should be what we expect it to look like. And it does. Great. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, we're going to pretend that was a happy mistake. That was a true mistake. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I did show what I wanted to show on the 3D model side of things, and I do use branching like this to... so let's recap actually what happened here. So I had made a merge. I had merged a bunch of commits that were on the server and were not on my local machine. When I merged those right before I recorded this video, I did that wrong. And I had deleted the layout files. Bad. And then I went and showed you what I showed you here. I showed you the branch. I showed you the deleting the pi hat stuff around the outside thing. We generated the step file. That's great. I went to go switch back to the master branch, and it was different. And I'm laughing because I'm like, actually, this is exactly what happened in Back to the Future too. They switched back to the master branch, and it was the wrong. It was something had gone wrong. So that was not intentional, I promise you. But then I went and had to go back in time. I had to go back in time and fix the. I had to fix the history, and that's what I did. And now we're back in 1985. I'm sorry, I did not intend. I really didn't intend for this whole thing to go like this, especially being like the plot of Back to the Future 2, but it did work out like that. Hopefully you saw a couple commands that are out there. Hopefully Git didn't seem too scary. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like command line stuff, and it does get easier over time. Like I was a little frustrated and a little flustered as I was doing this, but it's very commonplace these days to just like switch between different branches and check the status, check the log, check like all that stuff, and it becomes a little bit easier to think about this stuff. There is a mindset shift in there though, and that's something that does take a little bit of time, especially with circuit board stuff. It's a little bit different than code because you're not doing like comparisons and things like that. It's hard to do a diff. They're working on that maybe in the future, but I'm not really holding out hope. But like I said, I use it kind of as these save games or as this, timeline tracking stuff, and it does help. I promise you that it does help. So at the end of the day, what we did here is we showed, basically creating an alternate version of the board. I have a friend who actually does. Sometimes he would use branching to then go and create different BOMs, right? So different bills of material for different manufacturers that he would go and get quotes from and things like that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this that are useful, but it does take a little bit of time to get used to. So if you're new with this stuff, we do talk about GitHub and Git in the course, so that's something you can go check out. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.